Hi, I'm Sarah. Today I'm going to talk to you about 10 research articles I did over children with exceptional needs and disabilities. My first article is labeled Animal Therapy for Children with Autism Spectrum Disorder. Most people know that dogs and horses have been used for work for a long time. They were used for plowing, carting people, and working on the farm. Well, recently researchers have found a new use for dogs and horses. Animal therapy can help children who have autism spectrum disorder by improving their adaptive and executive functioning, social skills, sensory processing, as well as communication skills. ASD is a developmental disability that affects communication skills and social interaction. Children with ASD often have difficulty socially interacting with their family, their peers, and their teachers. Horses and dogs have been known to have an unhurried and comforting presence about them, and that makes interacting with children a lot easier. Children can facilitate interaction that's usually very difficult to do with another person by just simply throwing and fetching a ball, giving commands, or going on walks with a dog. The studies found that children did not need as many social prompts to carry out the social interaction as they do with humans. The ultimate goal of working with children who have special needs is allowing the children to become independent as possible. Another form that the author mentions in this article is therapeutic horseback riding. It requires attention, focus, control, communication, and sensory management. The riders have to learn how to control the horse using all of their focus and attention. I can imagine that would be hard for a child with autism. A 10-week therapeutic riding intervention for children with ASD was given, and the researcher had found that children made improvement in self-regulation. After trying many different types of therapy for a father's young boy, he decided to take the challenge of a therapy dog for his son with ASD. After 9 months, the young boy spoke and he mentioned, "She helps me, she calms me down." Anybody who has autism, anybody in the world, would just benefit from this. The author gave a very well explanation of the studies of children with autism and animal therapy. This article would be useful for parents who have children with autism, as well as family members and teachers. It could be very useful. My second article is labeled, Will Your Life and the Life of Your Child with a Disability Be Better After Your Divorce? It has been said that children growing up in the northern part of the country are much more likely to grow up with two parents than children across the South. States that have more two-parent families have higher rates of upward mobility. Divorced parents are usually predictable because they were at a younger age when they had their child with autism spectrum disorder. There's an 80% divorce rate among parents of children with ASD. Factors have shown that divorce among families with Down syndrome occur within the first 2 years of a child's birth. It's often said when custody determinations involve children with disabilities, the decisions regarding the best interest of the child can be even more complex. This article goes into more depth into there's several meanings of best interest of the child. If parents across America were to read this article, they would have a broader view on divorce on families with children who have disabilities. All parents and families should read this article, and it could have them questioning, will your life and the life of your child with a disability be better after your divorce? My third article is labeled Asian Children with Autism and Other Disabilities in Asia and the U.S. In South Korea, people go to great lengths to avoid the diagnosis of autism. In their country, they think of it as a genetic mark of shame on the entire family, and they also see it as a huge obstacle for one to find a suitable spouse. Some doctors in South Korea misdiagnose children on purpose with something called reactive detachment disorder. In India, autism or a disability has led to shame, embarrassment, concerns about inadequate parenting. So they thought that these children were strange, so they hid them. and since they were not seen, they did not exist. In Chinese terms, it's associated with helplessness, and it is seen as coming from a parent's bad karma from their past. ASD is almost 5 times more common among boys than it is in girls. I did not know that. That was very interesting. When supporting an individual with ASD and their lifespan, the costs are $2.4 million. This article was very clear, and it was an eye-opener, and it was very appealing. This could be useful for historical reasoning with other countries of children with disabilities and variety of ethnicity. My next article is labeled, When Your Child Becomes an Adult, Practical Solutions to Potential Problems. Each special needs child has their own level of self-care and decision-making abilities. Leaving your child to make their own decisions could cause some trouble. When a child with special needs becomes a legal adult at the age of 18, a parent isn't the recognized person to make a decision for that child anymore. Karen Starbowski is a special care planner, and she mentioned several points in this article that could be affected as your special needs child becomes the legal age of 18. She goes over rights to educational records and talks about if they decide that they want to work, Social Security benefits, making decisions regarding health, education, employment, finances, and goals. And she also talks about a letter of intent, and this would be used in case a primary caregiver needs to step in for your child. She also talks about having a trust for your child can help provide financial support and expenses during your child's adulthood. She talks about the different kinds of trust funds. This article can be very useful for parents who are struggling to prepare their child for adulthood that are disabled. This could give parents reassurance, and it gives several steps that